Good morning, everyone. Here is Crypto Lemon speaking. Today is September 10th, and we are in for a new daily crypto news show. So today we are going to talk about Bitcoin, SushiSwap migration, and what a lot of people are calling a new era of protocol politicians. We'll talk also about the recent DeFi tokens bounce during the last 24 hours. We'll talk about small value crypto transfers in Africa that have been surging this summer. And we'll talk about Mastercard releasing a platform that would enable governments and central banks actually to test digital currencies. And finally, I'll conclude with my daily stock market and COVID-19 update. So today's cryptocurrency market cap is close to $340 billion, with Bitcoin sitting at $10,265. As we were saying, Bitcoin is making its way to 10.3K. The resistance of 10K, as we talked about yesterday, has been tested at least 4 or 5 times already. It holds at the moment. What's really interesting in this article, and that I kind of lost track, is first, of course, Bitcoin spot aggregated daily volumes have been a bit going down since it became a bit boring, if I would say, to own Bitcoin. A lot of people plunged into DeFi. So we have a daily volume, I think something like $250 million. Then we have Ether volatility going up at levels we didn't see since May 6th. So the implied volatility is 106% on an annualized basis. And you see we were only higher during the huge drop following the COVID-19 crisis. So this is going up with DeFi, a lot of pump and dump and all this kind of thing. And at the same time, Bitcoin volatility, as I was saying, Bitcoin became a bit boring as the realized volatility is closer to 50% and close to a 12 months low, actually. Let's move on to SushiSwap. So the SushiSwap migration is done. It's on the platform. We don't have the data actual data of how much liquidity is there on SushiSwap, but it seemed to have been performed quite well. And what's interesting in this CoinDesk article, it's about, first of all, Sushi token holders elected multi-signatures members, so 9 of them at the moment. So Sam Bankman-Fried, I don't know, from FTX, Robert Leshner from Compound Lab, OX Mackie, the co-founder of SushiSwap, Larry Sermark from The Block, CMS Holding, which is an investment firm launched in November, Matthew Graham from Sino Global Capital, Hagen and Adam Cochran, DuckDuckGo, and Zippo, the pseudonymous creator of the SushiSwap dashboard. So these people will be in charge to get SushiSwap platform in the right direction. I think it's really interesting what's happening. We really are witnessing a live DAO with a lot of liquidity, a clear project, and I think this is something to watch going forward. So they were talking about, since now we have elected, let's say, official, we probably will see, and some people have been talking a bit for a while, some protocol politician campaigns to get elected, and some kind of proxy voting to rally around these people that will take decision on the platform. I think this is good for governance overall, but be careful, as this has been happening a lot in EOS or other ecosystem. You'll always need to watch out for kind of oligopolistic mentality between stakeholder, between builders, and it's a difficult ecosystem to manage. What else? Oh, something really important, the migration update. So SushiSwap was often referred as a vampire protocol because its goal was to take liquidity away from Uniswap to its own platform, and we have seen a drop, no, not this one, a drop in the Uniswap liquidity. As you can see here, we were well north of 1 billion, before the migration, and now we sit at $460 million dollars of liquidity on the Uniswap platform. Same thing for volume, we just sit under $100 million. So these numbers are horrible, but let's remember that before SushiSwap was created and before they announced that they will make this vampire protocol, there was only $280 million of total liquidity on Uniswap. So at 460, we're still higher than this end of August numbers. So as I was saying, DeFi tokens have had quite a good run, bouncing 19% on average over the past 24 hours. This is really a relief, as many of these tokens have plummeted by up to 50% during the past few weeks. And the top gainers, as you can see in this graph, are Swerve, YFI Earn Finance, Loopring, Aave, and SushiSwap, with most of them making gains north of 25%. Interesting article also on small value crypto transfer in Africa, as they have increased by 55% from January to end of June. This is the latest numbers we have. So this is more than 600,000 monthly transfers, and the regions where it's happening the most are obviously Nigeria, as it is the most populated country in Africa, followed by South Africa, and followed by Kenya. We have also a story from a local entrepreneur running a mobile phone retail store in Lagos that started using Bitcoin actually to pay his Chinese suppliers. So, and then it helped him to protect his business against currency devaluation, and so this is a big thing that maybe we miss in Western countries, is that Bitcoin is in USD, which means that the currency, even if we are in Bitcoin thinking USD will devaluate over the long term, it has nothing to do with the kind of devaluation we can witness in Africa or in some emerging economy like in Latam or even in Asia. Just to give you some color, the South African rand, so the national currency of South Africa being one of the richest African countries, this currency devaluated by 50% against the US dollar over the past 10 years. 50% over the past 10 years for one of the strongest African currency. So this is why a lot of people in these emerging economies are crawling into Bitcoin and USDT or stable coins. And finally, also we think Bitcoin, what about the fees? Because Bitcoin fees are quite high, usually sitting around 3%. But what this article is also saying is that the fees for fiat remittance in sub-Saharan Africa, it costs on average, this is a World Bank study, it costs on average 8.9% of the value you're transferring. 8.9. So you pay 9% just to send money from, let's say if you work in Europe and send money back home in Africa, 9% of what you send is taken by Western Union and all these other companies, and it goes up to 20% for countries like South Africa. So we understand why they are really going into Bitcoin to protect them from all the risks that I mentioned. Then we have Mastercard that announced today that they developed a virtual testing environment for CBDCs. So CBDCs, for those that don't know, are central bank digital currencies, and they have been gaining a lot of momentum as governments understand that they will need to do it at one point in time in the future. So Mastercard released this environment where central banks of different countries can test it in a virtual environment with customers. How will it work? What can they tweak left or right? So this is very good for the overall space. Finally, like I said, update on the financial market. And today the European markets are a bit down. You can see the Brent also down. We have a big meeting, European meeting, the ECB, European Central Bank, at 2:30 Central European time. this will be closely watched. Are people expecting some kind of boost from Christine Lagarde, the head of the ECB? And if it does not happen, the market might be disappointed. And if the market is disappointed, you know what happens. Crypto also take a hit. We also have the unemployment numbers from the US, and that will also be watched closely. Last, update for tomorrow's numbers on COVID cases. So we sit worldwide new cases were at 290 almost 1,000 cases. It's higher than 2 days ago. You can see the trend. We're going back up, and like I was telling you, for the past daily from yesterday, actually Europe is one of the new hotspots once again. We had 40,000 cases, with Spain and France being the hotspot of this new wave. And if this is going unfortunately in this direction in the next few days, I will expect also European stock markets, maybe US one, to take a hit, as we could see some more lockdown, or at least some more economic parts of the country being shut down. So this is all for today. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you guys.